Hello to you. Thank you so much for joining us here. I'm Netta Iranpour. Now, here at CBS 8, we are working for you. We're getting to the bottom of problems you've asked about, and we're looking for solutions. So we're going to begin here in Mira Mesa, where there is a growing concern over a stalled street improvement project. People who live in this area reached out to us after being told the project is going to take much longer than expected. Our Jenny Day working for you to get answers.
The issue for homeowners here on Mira Mesa Boulevard and Parkdale Avenue is the timeline. They say that a temporary water line went in that does impact parking, and then work seemingly came to a stop 2 weeks ago.
No one cares what we're going through. This is a nightmare.
Robert Jenkins says good intentions, bad execution.
They have got the cart so far in front of the horse that it's ridiculous.
He was initially glad to hear improvements were being made to his bumpy drive, but what was supposed to take 2 months, he fears could now take years.
They're saying February of 25. I think 26 if you're lucky.
The city of San Diego hired Tri-Group Construction to repave the street's surface and sidewalks, but they say they discovered utility conflicts underneath the roadway, now significantly delaying the project. Linda Jenkins also lives on the block.
This has been since November, and we're clearly not anywhere near the end.
So now after the project started, it's now stopped, and there are growing concerns about water quality.
All the water lines then come off down the sidewalk.
Since the start of the new year, Robert, Linda, and about 30 other neighbors have been hooked up to an above-ground temporary water line.
Do I want to drink water out of a 20-year-old rusty hydrant? There are dozens of safety and health issues involved with this rinky-dink line.
They also say the pressure is down and the water coming out is hot because of the temporary tar covering and keeping the pipe in place.
You don't put the water line in until you got the green light to work.
This temporary tar that now fills the sidewalks and gutters has also eliminated parking spots in an already busy area with Challenger Middle and Salk Elementary nearby.
Nobody here can park in front of their house like they used to. They're all over.
So the project that was set to be complete at the end of February should now start then. The city says it'll take about 6 weeks. Working for you in Mira Mesa, Jenny Day, CBS 8.
And now, take a look at this. Tarps cover giant holes in backyards of homes in San Marcos. And the people who live there say they're still confused about what exactly caused this mess. Many are worried about what it could mean for their homes. Working for you, CBS 8's Alex Lai spent the day in the neighborhood and got answers from the city.
This leads residents to have serious safety concerns about their home, and attempted repairs have even caused serious damages, like digging up this front yard and taking away valuable amenities.
Driving down San Marcos Boulevard, you're in line with a green hillside. Look closer and you'll see there's a tarp running down it. But for residents on top of the hill,
this is what we have in our backyard.
Neighbors say a leak in a drain pipe caused water to flood the slope, causing giant holes which are now covered in tarp. For resident Melissa Salaji, it's more than just an eyesore.
We're concerned. It's a hillside. Our houses are here. We're old people. We don't need this type of aggravation that anything could happen.
Next door is Jack Pelamati's home. For the last year and a half, it's been surrounded by caution tape and his front yard is empty and dug up.
They removed the fence that was here because when they were doing self-repairs, they needed to get some equipment in here.
Pelamati tells me that work was done by the property owners, Palomar Estates Mobile Home Park. Additional work done next door shut down laundry facilities and a car wash. Luckily for them, there's no rain so far, but this time last year, San Diego's historic floods filled the street. Pumps and drain pipes were brought in, but the wide pipes had to be strung across neighbors' homes.
We don't even really know what the exact problem is.
Nobody has any answers.
So what is going on? CBS 8 reached out to the city of San Marcos to get some answers. The city says Palomar Estates' private storm drain carries water to the city storm drain down the hill, but Palomar Estates' drain eroded and water seeped into the slope, creating the giant holes. Palomar Estates tried to fix the pipe by pumping concrete slurry into it, but the city found the slurry migrated under their city storm drain and is blocking the pipe. So what is going to happen? Palomar Estates is responsible for repairing the private storm drain and the slope. A plan was submitted to the city in August. It's said to be nearing approval. Meanwhile, San Marcos is working on a project to fix the public storm drain blocked by the slurry. Work is expected to start next month. Working for you, I'm Alex Lai for CBS 8.
And now, this past week, we marked 1 year since severe flooding devastated communities in southeastern San Diego. So many people lost homes, cars, and personal belongings. Now, 12 months later, families are still trying to rebuild their lives. CBS 8's Steve Price is working for you. He was there on the day of the flood and recently went back to bring us a side-by-side comparison.
This is 42nd Street in Mountain View. It's one of the areas hit hardest by flooding when water spilled out of a nearby storm channel. Today, a very different story. It's dry out here. Things look like they're back to normal, but neighbors tell me looks are deceiving.
Right now, I'm wading in this very, very heavy current right now. I mean, I equate it to like being in the ocean. This is really insane. I've never seen anything like this happen. Several dogs being rescued, a small child, a mom.
Yeah. We need to get her keys as well.
They say time heals all wounds. But for the flooding victims of January 22nd, 2024.
I really have a hard time talking about this.
Hey, have you found anybody?
No, for the most part, everybody's out.
1 full year is not enough time.
That's my car right there.
Which one?
This one.
That's your car there? Oh my gosh, was it parked in the middle of the street there?
It was parked right here.
Check out this side-by-side picture, their neighborhood then and now.
It was fast and bad. It's like 5 feet of water in this place. So we lost everything.
Judith Banks' front yard flooded. The force of the water so strong it wedged a car against her fence. And this was her pool. Today, the pool is back to normal and her front yard looks great. But she says government money and help didn't last long.
It's been real tough. It's like we're over here, we're forgotten. And I say over here, 92113 and 92114. It's like we'll get to them when we get to them.
She estimates her losses in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and she's not alone.
So sad because I don't have a flood insurance.
We first met Laura Anselmo on the day of the flooding. As the river flowed from her backyard to her front yard, she was trying to clear debris that created a dam against her fence, causing water to pool up, flooding her house.
Como por aquí.
She says the water reached all the way up to there, dirty water filled with sand and trash. A look then and now. And while the water is gone, they're still recovering. She estimates they're only about 50% of the way there.
¿Cómo estás hoy? Bien?
No estamos bien.
We're not good, she says. FEMA gave them a little money and they've spent their savings, but the house still needs a lot of repairs.
Please make us whole, just like you would everybody else.
Neighbors, a year later, still begging the city to pay for the mess it caused and constantly living in fear that it will happen again.
We've got a whole nother car that's down here somewhere.
So you don't know where your car is, your other car is.
But through their flood of emotions, they're doing their best to stay positive.
We still alive and well. Thank God. That's all I can say.
In Mountain View, Steve Price, CBS 8.
And from Mountain View to South Crest, coming up, we head back to neighborhoods affected by last year's flood and speak with residents who fear more needs to be done to prevent another disaster. And then anti-theft measures might be doing more harm than good. The changes we expect to see this year from a major retailer. And now, 1 year ago, historic rains and flooding overwhelmed San Diego neighborhoods, destroying homes in South Crest and in Mountain View when a storm channel there overflowed. Some people blaming neglectful maintenance by the city. CBS 8's Brian White working for you and shows us what that channel looks like now.
Yeah, 1 year later, we're taking a look at the flood channel here. The city of San Diego told me they're not giving interviews on this, but they did provide me some information. I did, however, talk to people who live around here about their feelings on channel maintenance. Floodwaters rushing down the street, washing out homes here in South Crest and Mountain View last January 22nd. On Beta Street, Monica Garcia knew right away where the water was coming from.
It was like a gut feeling. It's the canal. I knew it was going to come up because there was no reason why that water level was rising so quickly.
Her neighbor, Greg Montoya, showed me where he says debris clogged the storm channel here under the 38th Street Bridge.
There was shopping carts, mattresses, trash, debris. There was so much trash that it ended up clogging down there. So the water had nowhere to go.
He says he was ringing alarm bells with the city for years about drainage issues here.
If you don't start addressing these problems, there's going to be a catastrophe, and look what happened.
This is what the stormwater channel looked like after the flood from our CBS 8 drone, and this is what it looks like today.
Finally, we do see, I mean, I can actually see a canal, right? Before, on January 22nd, it was like a forest.
Under an emergency declaration, the city cut through environmental red tape last year using excavators and bulldozers to clear 18 miles of channels citywide, removing 10,000 tons of debris and vegetation. And more recently, neighbors say a lot of work's been done the past couple weeks.
So that makes a big difference what they're doing now, but there's still a lot to be done.
Greg points out that some trash still remains here in the creek that could cause more problems.
We get heavy rains. All this trash is going to go down that way. It's going to clog that bridge, and it'll start backing up this way. They need to take this seriously.
Moving forward, neighbors tell me they hope to see the city performing more regular maintenance throughout the year. In Southcrest, Brian White, CBS 8.
And now retailers that have toothpaste and deodorant under lock and key may have to pivot. Walgreens is now admitting that its anti-theft measures are actually backfiring. CBS 8's Jenny Day working for your wallet and shows us what this means for your next trip to the store.
You know it. We live in a fast-paced society. Something you need could be delivered to your doorstep overnight. So taking the time to come into the store and even having to wait several minutes for a clerk to unlock your item is leading to a drop in sales.
It saddens me that we have to come this far.
Balancing shoplifting with customer convenience.
All of us have faced this with the increasing amount of security for basic needs like toothpaste, deodorant, soap.
Just last year, more than $100 billion in losses were reported due to theft, according to the National Retail Federation. Even with stiffer penalties, the growing number of thieves prompted Walgreens and many others to put everyday items in a locked box. The company telling me they continue to be the most efficient solution to combating retail theft.
It's, the high-end merchandise stuff. Sometimes it's the vitamins, it's the makeup.
At a La Mesa Walgreens today, it was the razors, Rogaine, and baby food formula under lock and key. Anyone who needs these items would need to call for customer service and wait.
When you push the little red button, they need to be more responsive to get there, because you can wait 10, 15, 20 minutes.
That wait time is forcing some consumers to ditch what they came in for and head online. I spoke to business attorney and analyst Parag Amin. He says when something is locked up, fewer than 1 in 3 people take the time to find an employee.
You've got to make it more convenient. You've got to make people want to actually physically come there.
So is the solution worse than the problem? As drugstores lose millions to theft, they're now also losing millions of dollars in sales due to the frustrated consumer. Walgreens just reported an earnings loss of $245 million last quarter compared to $39 million during the same time period 1 year ago.
The retailers are saying, look, we have a major problem, but I think it also creates a lot of unnecessary friction for customers.
So as retailers look to compete, you won't see the glass cases going away right away, but Walgreens tells me they continuously review the impact of these actions on sales and are testing new solutions.
Now, to help offset some of their losses, hundreds of Walgreens stores will be closing by the end of this year. None, though, here in San Diego. Reporting for CBS 8, I'm Jenny Day.
Stay with us. Up next, we are working for you as President Trump starts to implement his border policy and how shutting down the CBP One app is affecting asylum seekers. Welcome back. Now, migrants trying to cross the border are sharing their frustration with us as the ACLU awaits a federal court hearing on President Donald Trump's shutdown of the CBP One app. It's a move that has left asylum seekers stuck in limbo. CBS 8's Abby Black is working for you and shows us how this is impacting migrants in Tijuana.
President Trump's first acts after taking the oath on Monday was shutting down the CBP One app, canceling legal entry appointments for hundreds of thousands of asylum seekers, including those here at the San Ysidro Port of Entry. The impact was immediate. We spoke to migrants and shelter organizers in Tijuana about their growing concerns.
Fue cancelado.
Edward Alvarado holds up his phone displaying the notice from Customs and Border Protection that canceled his appointment on Monday.
I had an appointment scheduled today for 8 p.m.
The Colombian migrant was waiting at the El Chaparral Port of Entry in Tijuana when he learned the news.
Like a bucket of cold water.
His shock is felt by others. Jesus Diaz, who fled Venezuela, had his appointment canceled early inauguration morning.
I had it for today at 5 in the morning.
After waiting 4 months for this date, Diaz struggles with the sudden change.
Was a surprise. I couldn't believe it.
I reached out to CBP officials and they declined to answer questions about what asylum seekers should do with their canceled appointments. Instead, they confirmed the app shutdown, saying that they will continue to process applicants at U.S. ports of entry while upholding U.S. immigration laws. All other questions were deferred to the White House.
Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, House Speaker Mike Johnson praised the president's move.
He ended catch and release. He shut down the ridiculous CBP One app.
The move rescinds former President Biden's program, which offered up to 1,400 daily appointments through a lottery system. Instead, Trump has reinstated the Remain in Mexico policy, requiring asylum seekers to stay across the border until their court date.
Nobody knows what's going to happen.
Robert Vivar knows the border's complexities firsthand. The activist who fought his own deportation while working to free deported U.S. veterans describes the scene.
There's chaos, a lot of desperation, a lot of anxiety, a lot of uncertainty.
Customs and Border Protection estimates about 300,000 migrants are waiting on the Mexican side seeking asylum. Shelter organizers expect their numbers to grow as mass deportations continue.
We will begin to see the arrival of more migrants.
Despite the uncertainty, migrants like Jesus remain hopeful about entering the U.S. legally.
We are the good people.
In San Ysidro, Abby Black, CBS 8.
And that is going to do it for us. Remember, if there's something you want us to look into, go ahead and email us. There's the email on your screen, workingforyou@cbs8.com. Thank you so much for joining us here. We're going to see you next time. Have a good one.